Hey, it's Jang here from UltimateRC.com, and this is a look at the Traxxas ready-to-run electric funny car. As of the time of this video, these vehicles were available in 4 different replica color schemes, and obviously this one belongs to the venerable John Force. This is actually a pretty large RC at 27 inches long, and as far as first impressions are concerned, it looks great. The overall proportions and many of the details are very scale, all the way down to the way that the body opens up. Clamshell doesn't even require body pins to open it up like this, and underneath you'll find more details with a somewhat tube frame styled chassis. Removing the body altogether requires removing 2 screws because it's actually hinged, but this definitely gives you a much cleaner look at what makes the car tick. It's a brand new chassis that recycles just a few older parts. For instance, the front shocks and the servo both come off the Mini eRevo and its relatives. The gray box behind the servo houses the 2.4 GHz radio receiver, and though the ESC looks like a rebadged Castle Creations Mamba Max Pro, it is not. It is designed by Castle, but it's only rated at up to 3S LiPo, and it introduces some exclusive new features that I'll talk about later. Now here's the battery tray, right where a driver would sit. Like the body, there are no body clips required here. You just use one single snap that you can operate with one hand. Very convenient. Towards the back, the big drag slicks look awesome, but this is not rubber. This is all plastic, except for this tiny bit of outer rubber donut. It's the same little trick that they used on the 1/16th scale Kyle Busch NAS truck. The actual rubber part of the tire is taken straight off the rear of an X01. These are belted and do not balloon. With a wheel removed, you can see how the rear suspension works. And yes, that is another 1/16th scale shock. The thing that looks like an upper link is actually a sway bar. Here's the true upper link, a single turnbuckle that goes right through where the driver's head would be. Because the links are not triangulated, on the bottom there's actually a pillow ball that rides in a vertical guide. That keeps the axle from moving side to side. The motor is a genuine Castle 2400 kV 4-pole sensorless unit. The motor is rated for 5S use, but again the ESC here is only rated for 3. My early edition funny car here has a green can, but newer ones are blue. Still the same motor though. The car uses a 32 pitch pinion, and the spur is taken right off of an eRevo or Summit. This directly drives a center diff which comes pre-filled with some pretty thick silicone oil. There's no other gear reduction, so it's essentially direct drive. At the very end of everything is an adjustable wheelie bar. You can move the single wheel up or down by turning that one turnbuckle. Now unfortunately, drag racing on the whole is no fun to participate in or to watch if there's only one car. Fortunately for you, I was able to get 2 cars. Before we have too much fun though, it's time for more education. First off, driving modes. Burnout mode gives full unbridled power directly to the wheel. It's there so that you can hold the back of the vehicle and literally do a burnout to warm up the tires. Staging mode is my personal favorite, and it's really amazing when you consider that this car is running a badly over-geared sensorless motor. And lastly, there's race mode. This activates torque limiting for nice clean starts. So let's talk about torque limiting. This is an electronic feature that's set in the ESC, and you control it remotely from the multifunction knob on the radio. With torque turned all the way down, this thing puts down power like it has a silver can brushed motor. You'll need to play around with this to adjust to your surface and the temperature. But I found the sweet spot to be small and elusive. Settings near the center of the dial are very, very sensitive, and the difference between coming out of the hole like a dog or spinning out is less than 1 degree. Again though, this will vary depending upon what surface that you're driving on. As you can see from the tire tracks, there was a lot of dust out here. Okay, time for one more bit of education. Launch control. Set the drive mode to stage, stage the vehicle, stage it, stage it, stage it. Come on, come on. There we go. Now, flip the red dial with your thumb, switch it to race mode, pull the trigger to full throttle, be amazed nothing happens, do your countdown, flip the switch, and off it goes. At the moment of launch, this will get you to full throttle faster than squeezing with your trigger finger, but you do have to memorize the exact sequence of things. With all that covered, finally we can have a little fun. The driving experience with these cars is surprisingly realistic, about as good as you can expect for an RC. Traction is a major limiting factor with these, so if you want to go fast, preparation and driving skill are paramount. Like with the big boys, the first 60 feet, to scale are make or break. If you get up to speed cleanly, the aerodynamics on these cars are great and they track very well. You just have to make sure you have plenty of room to slow down. But when things go all wrong at the start, it begins to look a little like good times. The bad news is that I had not one but two of these Traxxas pinions come apart due to poor casting. Frustrating but temporary showstoppers. After that I switched to RRP. We also separated a wheelie bar backing it into a curb, but that was repairable on the spot. The all-important top speed of the funny car was 45 miles per hour on 2S. It doesn't look all that fast, but that's mostly because it's a pretty big car. On 3S, well, let's just say it becomes a lot harder to film. Unfortunately, I didn't take a speed reading on this 3S pack until after it had been run for a few minutes, and I was about an hour and a half away from my charger. This thing will hit 70. For even more fun with the funny cars, you can pair them up with the DTS1 timing system. This is an expensive set at $200, but it has a very sophisticated Christmas tree and wirelessly linked finishing gate. With evenly matched cars this fast, it can be really tough to tell who won a race, unless you have one of these things. But this has so much functionality, I'm going to do a whole separate video on just it. To sum up my thoughts, these Traxxas funny cars are rich men's toys, but good ones at that. Running these is all about putting two or more egos on the literal line and coming out with smiles at the other end of the strip. I don't think I can say it better than this friend of a friend who tagged along for a full afternoon of testing. It's a car that's made to just go straight. Is that fun?
You know what? In my eyes, yeah. And this thing flies. I think, yeah, it's a lot of fun. As long as you have two of them.
There you have it. Traxxas funny cars, a lot of fun, as long as you have two of them. Or more. Thanks much for watching. Please hit the thumbs down button on the video if you didn't like it, or hit thumbs up if you did like it. Either one's a big help to me and I appreciate the feedback. I hope to see you on the forums, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye for now.